my name is Jana Jevcakova. I'm a Senior Advisor, Corporate Governance and Sustainability at Sodali & Co. In Australia, sustainability at predominantly large companies is finally no longer treated as a side project. It's rather being woven into mainstream governance structures. In 2025, we've seen boards refresh committee charters so that climate and ESG are no longer siloed in a sustainability function, but overseen by the audit and risk, remuneration and people and even nomination committees. The new mandatory AASB climate disclosure requirements are prompting these large companies to treat sustainability and climate as a financial reporting issue, not just as an ESG issue. Boards are also tying sustainability to executive pay, with sharper KPIs linked to safety, decarbonisation and diversity, while keeping them clearly measurable to withstand investor scrutiny. Importantly, leading large ASX companies are moving from a compliance mindset to a strategic lens, treating climate resilience, workforce inclusion and governance culture as part of a long-term value creation. The result is that sustainability is being integrated into the DNA of board oversight, alongside financial performance, risk and capital allocation. However, the mid-sized and smaller companies definitely have a lot of catching up to do. Australia hasn't imported the US anti-ESG dynamic wholesale. Our largest investors, including the superannuation funds, remain pro-integration on financially material ESG issues, with stewardship programs pressing boards on climate, governance and transparency. What has changed in 2025 is the tone and evidence. Boards are required to depoliticize the language, tighten materiality, and map ESG topics to core risk, strategy and pay, rather than positioning them as standalone initiatives. Proxy advisors are also refining their guidelines and expectations in line with this trend, covering board independence, diversity, AI oversight, and executive pay, so issuers are calibrating disclosures to those criteria. Practically, we're seeing 4 key trends: clearer financial framing of climate actions, fewer slogans, more KPIs, scenario analysis tied to capital allocation, and plain English explanations of why a metric is included in the scorecard. The payoff is that companies can reassure the skeptics of the anti-ESG stakeholders without backpedaling on commitments, while still meeting heightened pro-ESG expectations from local institutions. In 2025, we observed somewhat of a shift in Australia, with banks becoming the key targets for climate proposals that demanded predominantly transition credibility, not just pledges. At Macquarie Group, for example, market forces a resolution calling on the bank to disclose a scientifically credible plan for managing its fossil fuel finance, and a remarkable 35% shareholder support. Elsewhere, sustained pressure targeted the big 4 banks, ANZ, NAB and Westpac, with resolutions focused on whether their fossil fuel clients must hold Paris-aligned transition plans to access finance. These proposals drew considerable attention as they challenged banks to back up net zero rhetoric with actionable policy. In short, the proposals that resonated most were those that demanded short and medium-term targets, Scope 3 and value chain disclosures, and alignment between capital allocation or client policy and stated climate goals. And critically, these weren't theoretical, ask-the-nice-things types of proposals. They called for credible operational plans that could withstand investor realism. Additionally, BHP and Santos held their say on climate votes in 2025, with a number of companies that will have theirs up for approval in the coming weeks.